Welcome back to ToringView Router. In this lesson, we'll be looking at how to handle errors and 404 messages. There are three common errors we need to account for. First of all, when a user tries to navigate to a page that doesn't exist, what shows up? When a user navigates to a resource that doesn't exist. An example here would be going to an event with the ID of 999 which doesn't exist. And when that gets returned from the API saying it doesn't exist, what do we show? And then lastly, when the user's network connectivity fails, how do we communicate that there's a network error? If we jump back into our application and attempt to navigate to a path that doesn't exist, like /blah, we get this blank page, which isn't useful. So when this navigation happens to a path that doesn't exist, we need to load a NotFound component. Let me show you how to do that. Back inside our code, the first thing we'll do inside of our views directory is create a new component called notfound.view. I'll paste in some HTML here, which says, oops, the page you're looking for is not here, with a link to go back to the home page. Next, we need to go inside our router file. First, we'll import this notfound component. And then at the bottom of our routes list, we'll add a new one with a path of /:catchall, and then that's .star. Basically what this is doing is matching all routes that don't match an existing route. When this is matched, we'll load up our notfound component. Now when we go back into our browser and load up /blah, we get, oops, the page you're looking for is not here. Let's try another route. Sure enough, that works too. So that error message is handled, but what about when a user navigates to a resource that doesn't exist, like an event? Right now, if we go to an event and type in an ID that doesn't exist, this is what happens, blank page. So in this case, what do we want to do? Here, we can reuse our notfound component to deliver a better error message. To do this, we'll update our notfound component to have a new variable called resource. This will either be page or event. Resource will be a prop that will get sent in to this component. It's of type string, it's always required, and by default, it's page. So by default, it'll read, the page you're looking for is not here. And we don't have to change any of our previous code. Inside of our router file, we'll add a new route. This will have a path of 404 with the dynamic segment of resource. Its name will be 404 resource, and it'll load that notfound component, sending in the resource parameter as a prop. So in our case, we're going to be using /404/event. So we can send in the value of event into our prop. We'll need to push navigation to this route when our API call fails. And we're doing our API call inside of our layout.view. There's our event service API call, and it's inside this catch where we need to push navigation to the 404 resource path and send in the resource param with the value of event. Now back inside of our browser, if we navigate to an event that doesn't exist, we see, oops, the event you're looking for is not here. Let's try that one more time. Yep, the event you're looking for is not here. Great, so we no longer have a blank page when the user navigates to a resource that doesn't exist. And what's useful about the way we implemented this is that as we add other resources to our application, we can use that same notfound component. So if we have a list of blog posts and the user navigates to a blog post that doesn't exist, we can reuse that notfound component so it displays the post you're looking for does not exist. Lastly, we need a way to communicate to our users when their connectivity fails. To simulate this, we'll go into our eventservice.js where we do our API calls, and we'll make the domain invalid. So now when we go to our server and try to load up an event, we get the event you're looking for is not here, which is not the error message we want to display when the network connectivity fails. Instead, we want to load a network error component. So first up, let's go ahead and create that new component. This is our networkerror.view. I'll go ahead and paste in some code here. If you're following along, you're welcome to paste this in as well from our lesson page. And as you can see, it says, uh-oh, looks like you're experiencing some network issues. Please take a breath and click here to try again. Notice here, we're using router.go, which we learned about in the previous lesson, which navigates to the previous route. Next, we'll go into our router file and add a new route. This has path network error, and it loads up our network error component. Pretty simple, and we need to remember to import it. Now, inside of our layout.view, where we make that API call, we need to change some things. First, we need to check to see if the error has a response, and if it does, check to see if the response status is equal to 404. If it does, we'll push to the 404 page. Otherwise, we'll push navigation to our network error path. There's one other place in our code where we make an API call. So let's copy this network error piece of code, go into our event list.view, find the place where we make the API call, and instead of logging the error to the console, let's push to the network error path. Now, when we go to an event and the network isn't working, we get, uh-oh, looks like you're experiencing some network issues. Please take a breath and click here to try again. Same thing when we navigate to our event list and the network isn't working. We can click here to try again, and it navigates to the previous route, but it's still not working. After fixing the network, we can navigate to a specific event, try to go to an event that doesn't exist, and it loads up the proper error message. The event you're looking for is not here. Both error messages are working. So now we've accounted for 3 common errors that we all need to deal with when building web applications. Accounting for errors isn't fun, but it's really important for creating a good user experience. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Welcome back to TuringView Router. In this lesson, we'll be taking a look at how to handle. Wow, that was a loud toot. Connectivity.